flipping back the calendar to highlight yesteryear's finest while exploring the vast archives in cinema history. This is the Movie Review Rewind podcast on Nashville Movie Dispatch.
Welcome back for another episode of the Movie Review Rewind podcast right here on Nashville Movie Dispatch. I'll be your host for the show, the EIC at Sobros Network, Big Natural Stoney Keeley. You can follow me on Twitter at Stoney Keeley, collectively at Sobros Network, on all major social media platforms. Joined as usual by the star of the show himself, I forgot to say, you can get all of our, we haven't done this in a while.
And I'm not really the star of this.
No, this is a different podcast than that one.
It's not the VixFlix one.
No, but Nashville Movie Dispatch, all of our reviews, list, features, all that up at nashvillemoviedispatch.substack.com. And Brandon's here too. Shout out to our resident film critic. He's a board member of the Music City Film Critics Association, a member of the Southeastern Film Critics Association as well. Brandon, how you doing today, my man? We're a little rusty. I didn't realize that. I don't think that we have done a movie review rewind because we got so far ahead. I don't think we've done one of these since like last September, I believe.
It's definitely before the holidays for sure, because that's the goal. The goal is to not do these once we sort of get into, especially November, but if we can help it, October, because you know, things get hectic and people are doing, and you got football stuff and all kinds of other things, and award season is in full effect. So
it was, so the episode you guys listened to a couple of weeks ago on American Movie was actually recorded and uploaded and scheduled and completely forgotten about in September. So, but now that football season's over, the cycle starts anew. So we're trying to stockpile these evergreen podcast episodes to keep them in the pipeline for the rest of the year. But it does mean I might be a little out of practice on this. So I apologize for that.
It's fun to go back and listen to a show we did in September, and now how many months have gone past to see what state we're in and what's happened in the world. And
it's like a time capsule almost.
Yeah. It's like, I remember that was the good old days, even though you're listening to it in a completely different environment, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the day that bites us in the ass. So far, it hasn't happened. But if we're because we've had the discussion before, like we're recording this and like, what are we going to do if, you know, somebody in this movie passes away between now and the time this is released? People are going to call us insensitive, but I think I would just post a note in the episode description and be like,
that's what I was going to say.
Sorry
Please
about
note
this.
This was done before the passing of Tim Burton. I apologize.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice segue there.
Thanks.
We are talking about Tim Burton's Mars Attacks on today's episode. Mars Attacks came out in 1996, December 13th, 1996.
Oh, a Christmas movie.
Yeah, is Mars Attacks a Christmas movie?
Nice.
Brandon, this is our 58th episode. 58th episode of Movie Review Rewind.
Well,
and I don't think I've watched a movie of these 58 yet that made me feel quite as weird as Mars Attacks made me feel.
Well, it's a weird movie.
Because on one hand, I would literally go from minute to minute watching this film, 1 minute being like, this fucking sucks. This is terrible. I hate it. And then the next minute I'd be like, I don't know. This is kind of cool. I'm kind of vibing with this. And I slept on it, and I still don't really know where I land on this movie, if I actually liked it or not.
It's not it's not my favorite Tim Burton movie.
Well, I was doing that math too, and I've only seen 10 of his films, but of the 10 that I've seen, I think it is 9th or 10th.
It's not one of my favorite Jack Nicholson movies either. But this is what I like about it is that, and I think this is where it's a hell of a cast, especially in 96.
For sure.
It's got a lot of good people. It's very much an ensemble with Jack kind of leading the way as the president and as that
playing
casino
2 roles in this.
owner. Yeah, which
Art Land.
That second one, I feel like, and I'm sure it's tough, but I feel like Tim Burton should have said, "Hey Jack, listen, we got to rein this in a little."
I felt like he was one of the strengths of the film, honestly.
He
Playing
is.
both characters, like
he is.
It struck me in a way, like I thought he's so good as the president that it's funny just because of how serious he is by his nature, his demeanor alone.
Right.
But then he's also just completely letting loose as this casino owner that I'm watching it and I'm not thinking, other Jack performances you watch and you're just like, wow, this is really effective. And this is like really good stuff. But this, I was watching it and I was just like, man, he had to have had so much fucking fun making this movie.
He's been accused of being over the top before.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that was part of the deal. Like if he's going to play one type, he's going to go in the total opposite direction. And he does. And what I kind of like is Jack is Jack. So, I mean, he's not fooling anyone into thinking that, but I get it. And it works within the type of movie it is. What I like about it is it's very much of that 50s and 60s sci-fi stuff. And I think even the effects and stuff is not state of the art. I mean, it is and it isn't, because it's stuff that I think they did do in the 50s, but it's a little more polished than yet in the 90s than it would be in the 50s. But I definitely think that's really its main kind of attraction and charm besides the cast. And by the way, the cast is Jack Nicholson, Sarah Jessica Parker, Michael J. Fox, Annette Bening, Pierce Brosnan, Danny DeVito, Tom Jones.
Did you say Glenn Close?
No, Glenn Close, who's the first lady.
Martin Short, Michael J.
Short.
Fox,
Jim
Brown.
Yeah. Worked at the casino. So I mean,
and then you didn't even mention a young Natalie Portman.
Oh yeah, she was the daughter.
And Jack Black has a credit in this, but I did not see him.
He is the brother in the trailer park, the shaved head military.
Oh my
brother,
God, that's crazy.
That's him. Where he's talking to the father.
Yeah.
And the thing, that's him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I missed that one. Yeah. So,
but I like that 50s sci-fi throwback, and I really do think that's what Tim Burton was going for. The problem is that the story itself is not like, it's so kind of hammy that I'm not sure. Like, all of it does not work, and I wouldn't even say it's not as funny as I think it thinks it is.
I would agree with that because I felt like there were times where this film was in conflict with itself. That I felt like some of the humor was a little shoehorned in there. There were other times that I felt like probably took itself a little too seriously. Probably could have stood for more humor. So it wasn't necessarily that the humor was lacking for me. It was almost like there wasn't a really good feel for when to place the humor into the story.
Yeah. The tone is a pretty big issue, and
I like
throughout.
I like the effects and the choice, like you talked about. It is a nice homage to like old sci-fi B movies, but then I'm like,
I mean, look at the aliens. The aliens alone should give you, first of all, their spaceship thing is like straight out of.
It's like the Twilight Zone or the Outer Limits.
Yeah, and I mean it's which I know is intentional. And the look of the aliens I really like because it fits right in to this 50s, and there is nothing modern about those aliens.
No.
And so I appreciate that.
The thing that took me out of it though was like, I appreciate the style of it, but then they're literally like setting people on fire, and we're seeing
Yeah,
like
zapping them to death.
skin and muscle and organs melting off the skeleton, and we're left with these like garish, like brutal looking cooked corpses. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't, is this serious or is this funny? Like, what, Tim Burton, what do you want me to do here? Am I supposed to laugh at this, or am I supposed to be frightened? I don't know. And that was kind of where I felt the film was in conflict, that it kind of toes the line between the two, and it never really takes a full step either direction.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, there's a type of where like it's a horror movie. It's a sci-fi horror movie comedy, but that balance is really tricky, and I don't think Tim Burton totally has a grasp on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the homage to, like I said, 50s, 60s sci-fi stuff is one thing, but then what comes after that? And then how are you still going to tell the story by... And I mean, there really isn't even much of a story. I mean, once they get there, that's kind of it. It's an alien invasion, and then these eclectic group of people are trying to fend for themselves until they find out, spoiler alert, it's music. But
you can describe this movie. They could have had the synopsis be literally 2 words, and it's the title of the film, Mars Attacks. There you go. That's your plot. That's your story and everything.
Yeah. And I think that's probably the struggle, is finding that balance, finding that tone. It's just, it's not done well enough to actually, like you said, like how are we supposed to take from scene to scene and what step are you taking into what genre to really benefit the whole story? And so it's very problematic in its approach and execution. But there are things like the way that he approaches the sci-fi elements, especially. I think there are performances that bring this type of charm, bring this type of energy, that it does help move along, even though, some don't last that long. Michael J. Fox doesn't last that long. Martin Short's kind of the one that kind of lets that, what basically reminds me of like the film bot.
Yeah. That
into
scene,
it.
That scene,
I like that scene.
It was giving me Uncanny Valley vibes. I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of the Uncanny Valley, but like,
yeah, it does.
The whole like something moving like a human but isn't human thing. Like you see it in like possession films and stuff like that. But and that's what I was talking about. Is like, I want to laugh because Martin Short is such an idiot in this scene.
Right.
But I keep seeing
it's so goofy.
So
but then like that scene in particular where she's moving, like that is some great effects used in the mid 90s that maybe not has been done before. Like I love the fact that they are using almost like the look and aesthetic of old sci-fi Hollywood, but also using practical but also modern effects to give it off. And, and like that blend works.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the only mashup that really works, because there's so many other things like we talked about with especially with tone and stuff that it doesn't. It either there's a give and take, but it's not even. And so when it is like that, it does take away. And again, you're talking about a pretty thin story to begin with. I mean, it is absurd, and even just the alien invasion element, but also like when they get there and and what they encounter is still like, it's never taken that seriously. Like you can't, it's impossible.
And I feel like that sort of conflict is kind of a theme throughout some of Tim Burton's movies, where you're not quite sure, like, the balance of it, like it makes you feel weird. And there are other examples, I think of Beetlejuice as like, okay, this is fun, this is good, especially around October. But then there are other times where I'm like, okay, we've gotten too weird, and I was frightened watching it as a child. So I think that is a thread through some of his films, and I can appreciate.
I think Edward Scissorhands has that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I can appreciate that. It's just like, again, I go back to where the balance is done well and where it's not, and I think in this one, it's almost like we lean too far one way and then come too far overcorrect back. It goes from like too borderline scary, too creepy to then too silly.
Yeah.
And it's those dramatic swings that I think Mars Attacks differs from some of other unsettling Tim Burton films.
Well, and but we've also seen where it works for Tim Burton, right? So, I mean, I guess you can't really blame him for going there.
This does kind of feel like a movie that is more of, like a tribute to maybe films that he liked growing up. It kind of feels more like, well, applying his style to a genre. It's more of a love letter almost than it is supposed to be this like deep, original, emphatic, emotional story or something like that. So I am willing to give a lot of that a pass for that, but it's still like, I come back to the visceral emotional response to it, and me sitting in my chair at midnight watching this, just being like, am I on drugs right now?
Well, when you look back before this, you're talking about Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, Batman, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns, and Ed Wood.
I never saw Ed Wood.
Ed Wood is, I actually saw it at the Full Moon because my wife and I, we never seen it.
Yeah.
And, but when you name those titles, there is a lot about tone. And of course, Tim Burton has always had this certain look, which I will say Mars Attacks doesn't really quite have that, what we think of a Tim Burton look.
There's a darkness that is in a lot of his other movies that is not in Mars Attacks.
Yes.
But I think if I saw this on its own without knowing beforehand that Tim Burton made it, there's a chance I wouldn't have known Tim Burton made the movie.
Yeah, which there's parts where I'm like, oh yeah, I mean this is him. But when you hear those titles that got him to Mars Attacks, it's kind of like, yeah, he is used to playing with tone and playing with kind of with a lot of genres, and obviously he continued to do it after Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably one of the first times where it doesn't really work the way that, like we said, even with Batman, but especially like Edward Scissorhands and even Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I mean, I feel like there's things in all of these that there was this kind of common ground that was able to, the audience was able to recognize, but also with him, he was able to find. And I think there's a struggle there with Mars Attacks. And I think maybe it's taken on that 50s sci-fi stuff, but still trying to do Burton shit. And I don't think it, even though I totally get where like, it seems like it would be a nice, comfortable fit.
Yeah.
It wasn't. And it's funny because as far as I know, he's still attached to do it, but he's supposed to be directing the Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Oh, that's
a remake of that.
So right up his alley.
Yeah, but I wonder if these challenges will be there for him, or if he's able to find that balance that I think is missing in Mars Attacks.
I would not be surprised. Before we move on to other discussions, before I forget, because I didn't write this note down, you mentioned the ensemble cast in Mars Attacks. I think we're in agreement. Jack Nicholson is having fun. He's the star of the show here. But Who were some of the other performances that you thought were pretty fun in this film? Who were some of the other acting highlights in this, if any?
I like Glenn Close.
Yeah,
I kind of forgot she was in it, but
a little over the top.
Yeah, but I think she fits well with Jack's president. That in that way, I think it's good. I thought Martin Short was over the top, but I liked him in it. It's very much of a Martin Short thing. And I think a lot of people forget, but I don't have a problem with Sarah Jessica Parker, but I kind of appreciated Pierce Brosnan's performance.
Pierce Brosnan was my answer. Yeah. Because he so perfectly comes across as like this smarmy know-it-all professor, but he seemed to really understand the assignment here as well, in that he pulls off the look, constantly puffing on his pipe, which I thought was funny. It almost felt like Tim Burton said, hey, smoking a pipe seems pretentious for arrogant, smart people that know they're smart. Like, people see a pipe and they think professor, so you're just going to have a pipe in every scene that you're in. It's just always going to be in your mouth. So I thought that was really funny. He seemed to kind of understand that it was more caricature than real, like, heartfelt performance. And his delivery of that role was something that I thought really stood out to me.
Yeah. And I think it's something that I'm sure played something to it, because he was fresh off of doing GoldenEye's first Bond movie. Because that was in 95. So I feel like that probably plays a part too. Like, let's just go totally the opposite way. And I like it. I thought he did a nice job. And honestly, I hate to say it, but I don't, he's not the first person that comes to mind when I think of Mars Attacks.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Just not the first one.
So this movie had a budget of $80 million. You factor in a $20 million marketing budget, and that total budget comes right out to $100 million. It bombed in the U.S. I want to say the numbers said it made like 37 million in the U.S.
total.
But then it went on a run elsewhere in the world, ends up with a box office number of 101 million. So a profit of $1 million. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we were kids at the time when this came out. You and I would have been 10 years old when Mars Attacks came out. I felt like this was a bigger movie than it actually was back then. It was not critically well received either. Rotten Tomatoes, which I know is not an accurate reflection of how it was received at the time, but it is currently at 56%. We talk about kind of where this ranks in Tim Burton's filmography. He has directed 20 films, and of those 20, Mars Attacks is 16th from the tomato meter. Do you want to take a stab at the
20? That came in 16th.
Yeah, there are four movies of his that are ranked below that in terms of the tomato meter.
One has to be that Peculiar Children movie.
It is not. No,
that's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
15. It is 65% from the tomato meter.
Wow, that's one of the worst movies I have seen. Below 56, is that what you said?
Yeah, below 56. So a lot of his movies are technically fresh. There are a couple of his more
Is Big Eyes one?
Big Eyes is ranked higher.
Okay.
Big Eyes is at 13. I will say I take issue with these rankings, but
okay. I was just saying I don't see it being of his Batman, and I don't think it's Edward or like, I don't know, maybe Frankenweenie?
Frankenweenie is surprisingly number 3 at 87%.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't see it being Corpse Bride.
Bride.
The second, is it the second Charlie and the Chocolate Factory one?
That is 8 at 83%.
Oh my gosh.
Corpse Bride is number 7 at 85%.
Okay. Well, Corpse Bride should be higher because I like that one.
Yeah,
All right,
like I said,
let
this
me hear
is
them. Let me hear, because I can't. There's a lot of those unless it's like previous ones, but Pee Wee's wouldn't be. Pee Wee's is pretty high. Batman Returns.
so let's get to it. And once I say
Okay.
these, you will.
I will probably understand.
Yeah.
I know it's not Sweeney Todd.
At 17,
Dark Shadows.
51% Alice in Wonderland.
Really? Oh, you know what?
2010.
I was thinking not Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I was thinking the sequel to Alice in Wonderland. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Number 18 at 46% is 2019's Dumbo.
Oh, it's that low? I mean, it's not that good, but
19th at 42% is 2001's Planet of the Apes.
oh shit. I should have known that one.
And then at number 20 at 35%, which I take great issue with because it's one of my favorite Tim Burton films.
Okay.
It is Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows, I remember critics hating, and it was a box office bomb, and it was the slow, basically one of the last Tim Burton movies. Johnny Depp was losing favor out of movie audiences. Yeah, I mean, Dark Shadows, I would say, is better than. Yeah, I actually enjoy Dark Shadows more than a lot of people. I know you did too, but yeah, it doesn't deserve to be last.
Beetlejuice is at 75%, which is I think is a crime because I hated that film. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory I liked at the time, but it being 83% is shocking to me.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that high, but I don't mind that one. Dumbo wasn't that good. I'll be honest, Alice in Wonderland was fine. The second one was not as good, so I don't really mind those being down there. What was the other one?
His
Dumbo, Dark Shadows, Alice.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, you know what? That I liked it at the time, but it is pretty cheesy. And the fact that, this new trilogy come out, and then I mean, it really has put that one to shame.
I really want to rewatch Big Fish because that was a film that I loved at the time. I haven't rewatched it since, but his top 5 are Sweeney Todd, 86%, Pee-wee's Big Adventure at 78%, which I don't know, how does that work? How is 86? Maybe it's.
I'm shocked that it gets from 86 to 79 in like Batman or.
And then Frankenweenie is at 3, 87%. Edward Scissorhands is number 2 with 91%. And then at 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, number 1 among the Tim Burton filmography is Ed Wood.
Ed Wood was a big critical thing. I did not realize that. And Martin Landau won Best Supporting Actor for it.
Yeah. So
and I'm pretty sure Johnny Depp was nominated too.
I look at Tim Burton's filmography, and again, I like Dark Shadows. I can see, I don't see 35%.
No, I don't.
But
either.
I can see like it's not the best movie. I don't know that I would like it as much if it wasn't like a Halloween movie for me that I love putting on during the month of October.
Yeah,
kind of turn my brain off.
Well, when this came out like June or July, like it was a summer.
Yeah,
thing, which Johnny Depp and Tim Burton, but that's the thing about Mars Attacks. I'm shocked it came out December.
Me too.
It does not seem. It seems like a February, March, April, like before we get to the summer of stuff. But I mean, in '96, I'm sure that was obviously considered different, and it's not like his movies weren't making money. So I mean, and you look at that cast. I mean, it is kind of tough to say. Well, it's not going to go under the radar of a Tim Burton movie that has Jack and all these other big stars. I mean, Michael J. Fox was huge in the 90s still. Pierce Brosnan was Bond by then,
So
and you still have Annette Bening and all them.
I kind of look at Tim Burton's filmography and think like this is the Tim Burton is the 2016 Atlanta Falcons. That he's in the Super Bowl. He's up 26-3. It's looking like it's a home run, and then
Can't go wrong.
Can't close it out. The New England Patriots come back to win that because you look at his filmography up to Sweeney Todd in 2007, and yeah, there's Planet of the Apes in there, Mars Attacks is in there, but like it's a damn good body of work. And then after 2007 Sweeney Todd is when you get Alice in Wonderland, Dark Shadows, Frankenweenie, Big Eyes, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Dumbo, and Beetlejuice. And I don't know, man. It's kind of it's kind of discouraging. Like I don't know if you would agree with this or not, but it's like, I don't know, watching someone that has made some of my personal favorite films. Sleepy Hollow is one that I watch all the time.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like watching a guy lose his fastball.
Well, I do know, and he has talked about it, that Dumbo basically like killed his spirit in making movies. And it wasn't until he started.
Bad movie.
Yeah. And I feel like there was something to it because, again, I mean, with Michael Keaton coming back, and again, they hadn't worked together since Batman Returns. Yeah. Then they did Dumbo and Beetlejuice. But it wasn't until he started working on Wednesday that he found his love again. So it makes me kind of wonder what will it be now? Because he's only done Wednesday and Beetlejuice. And if he does 50-Foot Woman. So I am curious to kind of, okay, well, what is this now? Because, I mean, is it a case of like people being burnt? I mean, is he burnt out? Yeah. But, and it sounds like the Disney machine kind of chewed him up and spit it out. Because, I mean, again, he's doing Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, and I think Frankenweenie is a Disney thing.
I think it is.
I want to think he worked with Disney for a little bit. So I'm curious to see what his kind of last half would be.
I kind of want to see him going back to like doing something original.
I do too. And I like the remakes. Not that the 50-Foot Woman or whatever is not his thing, and I agree it is, but I would kind of like to see him kind of go back to what kind of made him famous. Yeah. And made him a box office success in ways. Not that like Edward Scissorhands broke, but there's just something very unique about it, and I do think he has kind of lost that, which I mean, as movies, as each decade passes and different people doing different things. And, I mean, I kind of feel like with what Tim Burton was doing in the 80s and 90s is sort of what Robert Eggers is doing now.
Oh, okay.
There's just this touch and this way and the stories that are done that it just separates you. And Tim Burton did a really good job of that for a long time. And I would like to see him get back to that. And Robert Eggers just comes to mind because he's not, I mean, even if you think of like all of his movies, really, like, I mean, The Witch, Nosferatu, Lighthouse. I mean, it's got this kind of flair, but it's also got this kind of mood, and it's got this atmosphere, and I feel like Tim Burton was it. Like, when Batman first came out, and then you're going to do something about a guy that has like scissors for hands, and like, it's not the normal stuff. And he still did it even with like, even though he didn't direct it, it's like Nightmare Before Christmas, Corpse Bride, Frankenweenie. Like it's that Tim Burton touch that I think has kind of lost its magic. And honestly, I liked Wednesday. I didn't watch the second season. I didn't either, but I did enjoy my niece
the first one. Loved it, and I liked watching
and Jenny Ortega's really good too. Yeah. And I want to say, I'm sure this has changed, but I want to think even Margot Robbie was attached to the 50-Foot Woman thing at one time. Maybe she still is. Maybe she's a producer on it. I'm not sure, but I would like to see him do something. Sometimes I think it's the people you can get, right? Like Johnny Depp used to be it. He's not anymore. So who is it now? It seems like Jenny Ortega is kind of it with Wednesday and being in Beetlejuice. I still think him and Michael Keaton make a good team, but really Batman and Beetlejuice, you're not going to beat. I mean, Dumbo and Beetlejuice, just doesn't really do anything. But But yeah, I would like to see him kind of come back to, like I said, kind of what made him famous. And I think I mean, obviously, I think he can do it, but it did seem like where he was interested in just remaking stuff like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Alice in Wonderland, the sequel, Dumbo, Dark Shadows, which was a TV show, Frankenweenie, which actually was a short film he did. He made it into a full feature film. Yeah, I mean, even with Wednesday, it's Addams Family. So it's and Beetlejuice is the sequel to Beetlejuice. So I would, and if 50-Foot Woman really is it, again, it's a remake. I would like to see him kind of get back to his original stuff, or at least have a new perspective on it. Because I think a lot of this stuff is sort of like it's Burton doing his thing with kind of tone and costume and makeup, but it's nothing different. It actually hasn't changed the experience, and so
we need to go back to the goth shit. Just give us the goth shit.
Yeah. And I think that's sort of what interested me in the first season of Wednesday is, I mean, that fits him. I think it's very much what he enjoys and what he can do. And it is a different take. I mean, Wednesday was only a piece of the Addams Family movie stuff. So to make it about her and everything was a nice take. But yeah, I didn't mind Big Eyes. I had Christoph Waltz and Amy Adams, but yeah, I mean, the last real good Burton movie, I guess, was probably Sweeney Todd. I do enjoy that.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that is the cutoff there. Yeah.
So that's kind of when, I mean, I think he got nominated. Johnny Depp got nominated. Like that was kind of his last, like, oh, okay. And that was like a Christmas thing, which in a twisted way, I didn't mind. So, yeah, Mars Attacks is just kind of right there in the middle. I think it's mainly known for either the aliens or the cast, and I think that's about it.
So you can buy some of the Topps trading cards that Mars Attacks is based off of, which I don't know if you knew that or not, but it is Mars Attacks is based off of a line of trading cards. You can buy a set on eBay, not the originals, but throughout the years, like this has become such a beloved thing in the card collecting community that they've done like reruns of like reprints of the vintage cards in like 2012, 2015, 2017. You can buy a box of them on eBay for anywhere from $60 to $200. So
wow.
If you love this film, here's a set, four packs sealed for $12. I might buy those. I do think it has grown into not a cult classic, but I do think there's some appreciation for it now than there was back then. And I think that's where you kind of see it. Like, I feel like a lot of Tim Burton shit like is just a big thing during Halloween. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
he's really kind of got that market. Because I feel like almost like Edward Scissorhands, especially Beetlejuice. I mean, sure, year round, but especially during Halloween. Corpse Bride, Frankenweenie. Like, I mean, so Mars Attacks, I think, is kind of in there because the aliens and stuff, it is I mean, they are memorable. So it is kind of funny how he has had he has been within pop culture since the 80s.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he has been around, and he's almost a Halloween character himself. So
yeah. I will say
I'm fascinated by him and the stuff he chooses, but yeah, Mars Attacks and I think it's something where just given the kind of filmmaker he is and what he's trying to do in the cast and stuff is that it should work better than this. And I'm sure that's in a nutshell is probably what sort of happened was like, oh, okay. And I mean, I can see people kind of being turned off maybe by the look of it. I mean, if you're not into that.
Yeah, sure.
And I just don't think that's something where like families are like, ooh,
We should take the kids.
This
at
should be
Christmas
fun.
time.
I am curious to what came out around then, because I have a feeling that's
It was number 2 to Jerry Maguire, if I'm recalling.
Oh, really? Oh,
correctly.
wow.
Yeah. I will say my favorite thing about Mars Attacks, to kind of wrap us up here, is that it did feel, as hokey as it was, the fact that it felt so absurd, I felt like it was a nice metaphor for how stupid we would probably actually be in real life during an alien invasion.
Yes.
It's almost like, this is so fucking silly, but can you imagine going through this right now?
It is sort of a satire on kind of what the priority is and what people would think and how would the government react. So yes, it does.
You almost have somebody in this film that's like a caricature of Patton.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. We're a little on the nose here with the metaphor, but I did enjoy that.
And I think Jack has a little bit of George Bush in him.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of Reagan too. So there's a lot in there. As long as the ego of the, like, with Michael J. Fox and Sarah Jessica Parker, there is so much in that. And I think that's why, with Jack leaning really into the absurdity of his casino character, it is, it does make you think. And since that's been made, there's been a lot of stupid shit that's happened. So that's possible. Yeah. But also, we didn't mention, but Miss Jackie Brown herself, Pam Grier.
Oh, I love Pam Grier. I love Pam Grier so much.
I do too. Jackie Brown, that's an underrated Tarantino movie.
It is, man. I rewatched it last summer, I guess. It's been a while. It was on, and I was writing something, and I was like, oh, Jackie Brown. And I thought, man, people don't give this movie the love that it deserves. She's awesome in it.
She's awesome. Robert Forster, Keaton.
I got a nice little collector's edition DVD of that down the road at our buddies at Danger Zone Video. $5. Not
to go down another rabbit hole, but did you see they're doing a 4K for Hateful Eight?
I did not.
It's a steel book.
Oh yeah,
it looks pretty.
I'll own it.
It looks pretty.
I'll own it.
But yeah, I liked her in it too. I mean, again, the cast is just crazy, and it's almost a modern day Wes Anderson movie because of like how it's done, and it's very niche, but it's also got plenty of people in it from like all walks of life. Like you said, with Jim Brown, like it's crazy. Like Tom Jones and Jim Brown are like share the screen with Jack and Annette Bening and Glenn, all these other people.
A somewhat recurring bit on Movie Review Rewind. We've done it a couple of times to great success. We do have, you're going to know where I'm going with this right away, but we do from time to time offer impressions from the movie. We've done Black Phillip impressions from when we talked about The Witch. We did our female orgasm impressions when we talked about When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
And I would ask you, Brandon, can you give me an impression of one of the Martians from Mars?
Oh my God! I'm sorry.
That's going to end the show.
Yeah.
That's going to end the show. He's Brandon. I'm Stoney. This has been Movie Review Rewind on Mars Attacks. Check out all of our work at NashvilleMovieDispatch.com. And until next time.
Nailed it.